I'm an introvert, an ISTJ, and that doesn't mean I don't like people. I do actually like some people.
Welcome back. This is Sage, and this is the People Edition, and we're going to react to a video about just life after, when you get older, and we're just going to check this out. This is why staying home is the best thing you can do. And this is by Nick Mayer, and I'll put his link in the description below so you can see the full video without the commentary. And let's jump right into it.
Given the choice between going out or staying at home, most of the time I would rather stay at home. Now, does that make me boring? Or antisocial? Or is that asocial? Or is this what happens to you when you get older? Well,
Maybe. I'm the exception. I never liked to go out when I was younger, in my 20s and in my 30s and in my now 40s. And I never really was the kind of person who would go out to parties. I would try to avoid going out, and it has to do with not liking large crowds. I just like my time by myself, just me, and enjoying the quiet, just enjoying very a very peaceful time, not a bunch of activities going on around me. And I've always been that way. Now, sometimes you grow into it, like you said. When you get older, you've done all the partying, you've done all the activities and events and whatever it is, and you just want to max and relax and just be alone. Sometimes you get to a point where you just want to be alone.
I don't think it's any of those things. I'm sure there is a much simpler explanation. I'm trying to work out why home increasingly wins. And I've realised there are several reasons. Some of them are about the world around me, some of them are definitely about other people, but I think the biggest reason is inside me. Here's a good example. The other day I met a friend for a few beers in York at a favourite pub. We met at 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening. Now, 30 years ago that would probably have been a Friday or a Saturday night. Now, today you couldn't pay me to get into York City Centre on a Saturday night, but it can't be about age, because my father-in-law, who's in his 80s, will happily go into the city when it's absolutely heaving, and he'll sit in a packed bar for hours and talk to complete strangers. Now, I can't think of anything worse, and I'm only 65. So no, this can't just be about getting older. I think part of the answer is that I experience people differently to him.
That's something to really think about. He's gonna dive into it a little bit more. But from what I'm translating so far is that every 5 years, this is what I usually say to people. Every 5 years, you change. Your mind change, your body changes, and when I say your mind change, your mindset changes over time. You get to know people over time, and you either like people more or you end up not wanting to hang out with a lot of people. And you kind of figure out who your enemies are, who your friends are. And it's kind of like when a lot of people say in dating, the more you date, the more you figure out what you want. I think as you get older, you kind of mature and you become more vigilant, and also you don't want to waste your time. So because of that particular aspect or component of your life, time, you end up doing things for yourself. You end up doing things that you want to do more because you've been out. Your vetting process is even more narrow, and you have one or two really best friends that you talk to. You don't have a whole big giant group, and that's with some people. That's not with everybody. But let's continue.
An extrovert, I'm an introvert, an ISTJ. And that doesn't mean I don't like people. I do actually like some people. Not many, but some. But
Yeah, this is part of the reason why he probably doesn't want to go out. It's because he's an introvert, and there's a lot of introverts that back in the day, and they were probably introvert. They were probably introverted even when they were younger, but they were pressured to go out and try to be extrovert. But now they're older and they have maybe their career set, maybe they have their own home, and you know, when you're moved out of your family's, your parents' home, you can do what you want, and now you could truly be who you want to be. That's usually has how some of us introverts translate. When we get out on our own, we can be more of ourselves. We don't have to hang out. We don't have to go to family gatherings. We don't have to do everything that everybody else does. You kind of mold into yourself more, be more authentic.
crowds, well, they drain me. They use up my energy. I can't stand a packed bar or a busy restaurant, a crowded street. To me, it's just constant noise and
I feel exactly the same way. It doesn't, I don't go to concerts. I don't go to parties. I don't go to bars. I will sometimes go to a busy coffee place, but it's, you know, it's all contextual. It's, it just depends on the setting. And yeah, crowds really drain you because there's so much activity going on. Introverts don't translate those activities the same way as an extrovert does. An extrovert will gain a lot of energy from all that. They enjoy it, but it's just not my thing. It's not some people's thing.
mental overload. And after a while, I've had enough. Now, my wife is completely different. Take her to a busy restaurant or pub, and she'll think, oh, this is great. What a buzz. Whereas I think, where's the quietest table and when are we leaving? Now, neither of us is wrong. We just experience the same environment differently because
Yeah, it's not a right or wrong thing. It's a preference that, you know, you're just two different people. You got an extrovert who does what they do, and an introvert who does what he or she does. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. You either love crowds or you don't love crowds. But you know, being in a relationship, a lot of relationships with extroverts and introverts, it can be a good mix. And for some people, it doesn't work out because they're so different in that way.
of our personalities. My in laws, as I said earlier, they're in their 80s and they still look for reasons to go out every single day at the busiest time of the day. They drive to a shopping centre or they catch a train to London. As I said, I'm 65 and I look for reasons not to go out. So, yes, personality is obviously part of it, but it doesn't explain everything. How can it? Going anywhere feels like harder work for me than it used to do. For example, if you take a simple Saturday night out at a favourite country pub, maybe to go and have a steak and a few beers, and for me that's the Victoria at Cattle, run by Steve Balcombe, who used to play for Leeds United. I recommend you pay it a visit. You get in the car, you hit traffic on the way. When you get there, the car park is full to overflowing. Eventually, you find somewhere to park. You get into the pub, and
I think I know exactly where he's going with this. It's like it takes a lot of work, it seems, to go to a favorite place or go to a an event I think the more obstacles that are in the way, the less likely you'll put in the effort to go out to a particular pub or bar, or even go to a movie, or even go to, it could be, there's days where I plan to go to a movie and it's raining outside and I'm like, nah, I'll stay in. It could be as little as an obstacle of rain, driving through the rain. If you like driving through the rain, that's what you'll do. But if you don't enjoy that, then you just don't do it.
It's rammed. You sit down, you have your meal, and you can barely hear each other speak over the noise of everyone else chatting, vying for attention. But somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, you find yourself thinking, is this actually worth it? I hope it's over soon. And it's not about the cost either. Although let's face it, through no fault of pub landlords like Steve, it is getting silly. Here in the UK, it's now over £30 for a steak. It's £6 for a pint of beer. You don't get much change out of 200 quid if there's four of you. No.
Yeah, there's like, I think if I'm translating this correctly, when you get older, you start to look at the return on investment into that, where you put your time, where you put your money. It's like, what am I getting out of this really? That's what you end up saying every time you're about to go out and do something. You always look at, am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my money? Am I wasting my energy when I could be doing something else? You go through all those things in your mind. Those are the different stages in your mind. I think it's natural when you get older, you start to figure out who you are, what you like to do, and what you don't like to do, and what your limits are. You stick to that. But I'm going to end it here. This is a really interesting video, and I hope you guys check it out. Check out the rest of the video. I'll have the full video in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.